The research ship U's Horizon moved slowly through the darkness of space toward the green and blue planet below. Dr. Lisa Carter pressed her face against the window of the observation deck and watched the planet grow larger. 3 years of travel had brought them to this moment. She was about to meet aliens for the first time in human history. "Are you ready for this?" Commander Jake Morrison asked as he walked up behind her. His voice was calm, but Lisa could hear the excitement underneath. Jake was a good commander, always steady and careful, but even he seemed amazed by what they were about to do. "I've been ready for this my whole life," Lisa said, turning away from the window. She had studied alien biology for 15 years, but it had all been theory and guesswork. Now she would finally meet real aliens face to face. The planet below was called Kepler 442b by human scientists, but the aliens who lived there called it something else. Their radio signals had been picked up by Earth's deep space monitors 2 years ago. The messages were peaceful and welcoming. They wanted to meet humans and learn about them. Jake checked his watch. "We'll be in orbit in 2 hours. The away team is ready. Are you sure you don't want to bring more equipment?" Lisa shook her head. "Too much technology might scare them. We want to make a good first impression." She had spent months planning this moment. The alien messages suggested they were peaceful people who valued knowledge and learning. She didn't want to arrive looking like invaders. The ship's communication system crackled to life. "Commander Morrison to the bridge, please. We're receiving a transmission from the surface." Jake and Lisa hurried to the bridge. The crew was gathered around the main screen, staring at something that made Lisa's breath catch in her throat. An alien face looked back at them from the screen. The creature was tall and thin, with skin that looked like frosted glass. Lisa could see something moving underneath the skin, like colored liquid flowing through tubes. The alien had 4 arms and a face that was almost human-like, but with larger eyes and a smaller mouth. When it spoke, its skin glowed with soft blue light. "Greetings, humans from the ship Horizon," the alien said. Its voice was musical and pleasant. "I am Zaraketh, chosen speaker for the people of this world. We welcome you to our home." Lisa stepped forward. "Hello, Zaraketh. I'm Dr. Lisa Carter, and this is Commander Jake Morrison. We're honored to meet you." Zaraketh's skin brightened. "The honor is ours. We have prepared a place for you to land if you wish to visit our world. We have many questions about your people and your journey through the stars." Jake looked at Lisa, then back at the screen. "We would very much like to visit. Can you tell us about your people? We want to understand your customs so we don't accidentally offend anyone." "You are very thoughtful," Zaraketh said. Her skin shifted to a warm golden color. "We are a peaceful people. We grow food from the earth and share knowledge with each other. We have no weapons and no armies. We have not known war for over 1,000 years. Lisa felt her excitement growing. These aliens seemed perfect for first contact. Peaceful, intelligent, and welcoming. "What do you call yourselves?" "We are the Viridians," Zaraketh said. "We are the children of the green world. We tend the gardens and study the stars. We have been waiting for beings like you to visit us." An hour later, Lisa sat in the small shuttle that would take them to the planet's surface. Jake sat across from her, checking his equipment one more time. They had brought only basic supplies and recording devices. The rest of the away team consisted of Dr. Paul Martinez, the team's linguist, and Lieutenant Amy Brooks, who would serve as their security escort. "Remember," Jake said as they prepared to launch, "we're ambassadors now. Everything we do reflects on all of humanity." The shuttle broke through the planet's atmosphere, and Lisa got her first real look at the alien world. It was beautiful beyond anything she had imagined. The continents were covered in vast forests of trees that seemed to glow with their own light. Cities appeared as collections of tall, graceful towers that looked like they had been grown rather than built. They landed in a clearing near one of the smaller cities. As soon as the shuttle's doors opened, Lisa smelled the sweet air of the alien world. It was clean and fresh, with a hint of flowers and growing things. Zaraketh was waiting for them with a group of other Viridians. Up close, Lisa could see that each alien was slightly different. Some had darker skin, others were taller or shorter, but they all had that same translucent quality and the four graceful arms that moved like they were dancing. "Welcome to our world," Zaraketh said, approaching them slowly. Lisa noticed that all the Viridians moved with a fluid grace that was beautiful to watch. "We have prepared a gathering place where we can speak and learn about each other." The Viridians led them through the city. Lisa was amazed by what she saw. The buildings were made of some material that looked like living wood, but stronger and more flexible. Gardens grew everywhere, even on the walls and roofs of buildings. The air was filled with the sound of flowing water and gentle music. "How do you power your city?" Dr. Martinez asked, looking around in wonder. "The city powers itself," Zaraketh explained. "The walls absorb energy from the sun and the movement of the wind. The water flows through channels that create power as it moves. We try to work with nature instead of fighting against it." They reached a large open space surrounded by curved walls. Hundreds of Viridians had gathered to see the humans. Lisa felt nervous as she looked at all the alien faces, but their expressions seemed friendly and curious rather than threatening. Jake stepped forward. "People of this world, we come in peace from the planet Earth. We bring greetings from all humanity and hope for friendship between our peoples." The crowd of Viridians began to glow with soft colors. Lisa realized they were showing their emotions through their skin. The warm colors suggested they were pleased and excited for the next several hours. They shared stories and information. Lisa learned that the Viridians were farmers and scholars who had built their civilization around learning and growing things. They had no military because they had no enemies. Their world had no large predators and no aggressive species. "We have studied the stars for many generations," Zaraketh told them. "We always hoped we would meet other thinking beings someday. When we received your radio signals, we celebrated for days." Jake asked about their government. "Who leads your people?" "We make decisions together," Zaraketh said. "When we disagree, we talk until we find a solution that works for everyone. It sometimes takes time, but we believe it makes us stronger." Lisa found herself fascinated by Zaraketh. The alien was clearly intelligent and thoughtful. Her skin changed colors as she spoke, glowing brighter when she was excited about something and dimming when she was thinking hard about a question. As the day continued, Lisa began to feel like she was making a real friend. Zaraketh seemed just as curious about humans as Lisa was about Viridians. They compared notes about their different worlds and the challenges of traveling between the stars. "Your people seem very peaceful," Lisa said during a quiet moment. "Have you always been this way?" Zaraketh's skin shifted to a deeper, more thoughtful color. "We chose peace long ago. Our ancestors were different, but we learned that cooperation works better than conflict. We are much happier now." Just then, Lieutenant Brooks approached, Jake with a concerned expression. "Commander, our long-range sensors are picking up something unusual. A fleet of ships is approaching the system." Jake frowned. "Are they Viridian ships?" "No, sir. The configuration is unknown. They're still several hours away, but they're moving fast and they're not responding to our signals." Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. She looked at Zaraketh, whose skin had suddenly gone pale. "Do you know who they might be?" Zaraketh shook her head slowly. "We have had no visitors from space except for you. We do not know of any other peoples who travel between the stars." Jake's expression became serious. "We need to get back to the ship and prepare for whatever is coming. This first contact mission might be about to become something very different." As they prepared to leave, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that their peaceful first contact was about to turn into something far more dangerous. The Viridians seemed so gentle and unprepared for any kind of conflict. She hoped that whatever was coming would be as peaceful as the people of this beautiful world. The shuttle raced back to the UES horizon as fast as its engines could carry them. Lisa looked out the window at the peaceful Viridian city below and felt her stomach twist with worry. In just a few hours, she had come to care about these gentle people. The thought of them facing some unknown threat made her feel sick. How long until the unknown ships arrive? Jake asked Lieutenant Brooks over the communication system. About 3 hours, Commander. They're moving faster than anything in our databases. Whatever they are, they have very advanced technology. Jake turned to Lisa. We need to warn the Viridians. They need to prepare for the worst. Lisa nodded, but she wondered what a people without weapons could do to prepare for an invasion. The Viridians had told them they hadn't known war for over 1,000 years. They had no armies, no weapons, no experience with fighting. If the approaching ships were hostile, the Viridians would be helpless. They reached the horizon and immediately went to the bridge. The crew was working frantically to analyze the sensor data from the approaching fleet. What they found was not encouraging. 37 ships, reported the sensor officer. All of them are heavily armed. Energy weapons, missile systems, and what looks like troop transport capabilities. This is definitely a military fleet. Jake studied the data on the main screen. Any idea who they are? We're running the ship designs through our databases now, sir. Wait, we're getting a match. These ships belong to the Scarith Empire. Lisa felt her blood run cold. She had heard of the Scarith from the intelligence briefings before they left Earth. They were one of the most feared species in the galaxy, known for conquering peaceful worlds and enslaving entire populations. The Scarith are raiders, Jake said grimly. They attack worlds that can't defend themselves and take everything of value. They probably detected our transmissions and came to investigate. We have to warn the Viridians, Lisa said. They have a right to know what's coming. Jake nodded and opened a communication channel to the planet's surface. Zaraketh's face appeared on the screen, her skin showing the calm blue color of contentment. That was about to change. Zaraketh, we need to talk to you urgently. A fleet of hostile ships is approaching your world. They belong to a species called the Scarith, and they are very dangerous. Zaraketh's skin immediately shifted to a pale, frightened color. Hostile? What does that mean? It means they want to hurt you and your people, Lisa said gently. They attack planets and take prisoners to use as slaves. We need to help you prepare. But we don't understand, Zaraketh said, her voice trembling. Why would anyone want to hurt us? We have done nothing wrong. Jake leaned forward. Evil doesn't need a reason. Some species take what they want by force. You need to evacuate your cities and hide your people. We don't know how to hide, Zaraketh sighed. Her skin was now flashing between different colors rapidly, which Lisa recognized as a sign of extreme stress. We have never needed to hide from anything. Then we'll help you, Lisa said. We're coming back down to the surface. Our ship will fight the Scarith, but we need to protect as many of your people as possible. The next 2 hours were a nightmare of preparation. Jake ordered the Horizon to battle stations while Lisa and a team of security officers returned to the planets. Surface, they found the Viridian city in chaos. Word of the approaching threat had spread, and the aliens were running around in panic, not knowing what to do. Zaraketh met them at the landing site. Her skin was now a dark, mottled color that Lisa had never seen before. Our people are terrified. We have never faced anything like this. What do? We need to get your people away from the cities, Jake said. The Scarith will target population centers first. Are there any caves or underground areas where people can hide? There are old tunnels beneath the city, Zaraketh said. They were built long ago, before our current civilization. Most people have forgotten about them. That's perfect, Lisa said. We need to get everyone into those tunnels as quickly as possible. As they worked to evacuate the Viridians, Lisa noticed something strange. The longer the crisis went on, the more Zaraketh seemed to change. Her skin was getting darker, and dark lines were appearing under the surface like veins. She was also moving differently, more carefully and deliberately. Are you feeling all right? Lisa asked her during a brief break from the evacuation. Zaraketh paused and looked at her hands. The dark veins were more visible now, pulsing slowly under her translucent skin. I don't know. I feel strange, different, like something is waking up inside me. Before Lisa could ask what she meant, alarms began blaring from the horizon overhead. The Scarith fleet had arrived. The sky above the city suddenly filled with massive black ships. They were ugly, brutal-looking vessels covered in weapon turrets and armor plating. The largest ship was nearly 2 miles long and bristled with enough firepower to destroy a small moon. "This is the Scareth Warmaster Grimjaw," a harsh voice boomed from speakers on the ships. "Surrender now, and your deaths will be quick. Resist, and we will make your suffering last for days." Jake grabbed his radio. "Horizon, this is Morrison. Engage the enemy, protect the city." The human ship opened fire immediately. Bright beams of energy lanced up from the horizon toward the Scareth fleet. The attack caught the aliens by surprise, and 2 of the smaller ships exploded in balls of fire, but the Scareth recovered quickly. Their return fire was devastating. The horizon's shields flared as dozens of energy weapons hit it at once. The ship was tough, but it was outnumbered 35-1. "We can't hold them for long," Jake said grimly. "We need to get the Viridians to safety now." The evacuation became a desperate race against time. Scareth dropships began landing all around the city, disgorging troops of insect-like soldiers in black armor. The Scareth were horrible to look at, with 6 legs, sharp claws, and faces that looked like giant beetles. Lisa helped guide a group of Viridian children toward the tunnel entrance when the first energy blasts hit the city. Buildings exploded around them, sending debris flying through the air. The Scareth soldiers were shooting at everything that moved. "This way," Zaraketh shouted, leading a group of civilians toward safety. But as they ran across an open plaza, a Scareth energy cannon targeted them. The blast was meant to kill everyone in the group. Lisa saw it coming and threw herself forward, pushing Zaraketh out of the way. The energy beam passed over them, but the explosion brought down part of a nearby building. A huge piece of stone crashed down, hitting Lisa in the head and knocking her unconscious. When she woke up, she was in a dark underground tunnel. Her head throbbed with pain, and she could hear the sounds of battle continuing above. Zaraketh was sitting beside her, but something was very wrong. The Viridian skin had changed completely. Instead of the translucent, peaceful coloring Lisa remembered, Zaraketh's skin was now dark and mottled like camouflage. The veins under her skin were bright red and pulsing rapidly. Her forearms looked longer and more muscular than before, and her fingers had grown into sharp, curved claws. Most frightening of all were her eyes. They were still recognizably Zaraketh's eyes, but they held a predatory intelligence that hadn't been there before. When she looked at Lisa, it was like being studied by a hungry Volf. "You're awake," Zaraketh said. Her voice was different too, deeper and with strange harmonics that made Lisa's skin crawl. "You saved my life." Lisa tried to sit up, but pain shot through her head. "What happened to you? You look different." Zaraketh stood up, and Lisa saw that she was favoring her left leg. It looked like she had been injured in the explosion, but the way she moved was strange. The limp seemed almost deliberate, like she was pretending to be hurt worse than she really was. "Are you hurt?" Lisa asked, concerned for her friend despite her fear. Zaraketh looked down at her with those predatory eyes and smiled. The smile revealed teeth that were no longer the flat, herbivorous teeth of a plant eater. They were sharp, pointed fangs designed for tearing flesh. "No, human," Zaraketh said in that new, dangerous voice. "My inner beast is waking up." Above them, the sounds of battle continued. But Lisa could hear something else now, something that made her blood run cold. Mixed in with the energy weapons and explosions were new sounds, screaming, but it wasn't the Viridians screaming anymore. It was the Scareth. Lisa realized that the gentle, peaceful people they had come to help were becoming something else entirely. The question was whether that something would still consider humans to be friends, or if they would become just another kind of prey. In the darkness of the tunnel, surrounded by the sounds of a war that was changing in ways no one had expected, Lisa began to understand that first contact with the Viridians was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. Lisa stared at Zaraketh in the dim light of the underground tunnel. The creature sitting beside her looked like her friend, but everything about her had changed. The gentle diplomat who had welcomed them to this world was gone, replaced by something that made every instinct in Lisa's body scream danger. I don't understand, Lisa said, trying to keep her voice steady. What's happening to you? Zaraketh tilted her head, studying Lisa with those predatory eyes. We are remembering, she said. For 1,000 years, we have been something we were not meant to be. We chose to forget our true nature to become peaceful and gentle. But when death comes for us, the old ways return. She stood up and began, pacing back and forth in the narrow tunnel. Her movements were fluid and silent like a hunting cat. Lisa noticed that her friend's injured leg wasn't really injured at all. The limp was fake, designed to make enemies think she was weak. Long ago, before we built our cities and grew our gardens, we were hunters, Zaraketh continued. We were the apex predators of this world. Other species feared us across the galaxy, but we grew tired of killing and chose a different path. We buried our hunting instincts deep inside our minds and became farmers instead. Lisa felt sick. But you're still you, right? You're still the same person I met today? Zaraketh stopped pacing and looked at her. For a moment, Lisa saw a flicker of the old Zaraketh in her eyes. I am trying to be, but the change is strong. My body remembers what it was designed to do. My mind remembers how to hunt, how to kill, how to survive. The gentle thoughts are getting quieter. Above them, the sounds of battle had changed. There were fewer energy weapons firing now, but more screaming. And the screaming was definitely coming from the Scarith soldiers. What's happening up there? Lisa asked. My people are remembering too, Zaraketh said. All across the city, the change is taking hold. We are becoming what we once were. The Scarith came here expecting to find helpless prey. Instead, they have awakened something that should have stayed sleeping. Lisa tried to process what she was hearing. Are you saying your entire species is transforming? Not all of us. The change only comes when we face true danger, when death is certain. Most of our people have never experienced that kind of fear. But today, with the Scarith killing our children and destroying our homes, the old instincts are waking up. Zaraketh knelt down beside Lisa, moving with that same liquid grace. Up close, Lisa could see that her friend's skin was continuing to change. The dark veins were spreading, and her forearms were definitely longer and more muscular than before. Her fingers had become claws that could probably tear through steel. You need to understand something, Zaraketh said, her voice gentle but with an edge of menace. The creature I am becoming sees you as either pack or prey. Right now, you are pack because you saved my life. But if that changes, if you do something my instincts interpret as a threat, I might not be able to control what happens. Lisa swallowed hard. What about the other Viridians? Do they still see humans as friends? I don't know. The change affects everyone differently. Some, like me, are trying to hold on to who we were. Others have let the beast take complete control. And the beast doesn't care about diplomatic relationships. As if to prove her point, they heard footsteps in the tunnel. Someone was coming toward them, moving with the same silent grace that Zaraketh had shown. Lisa tensed, but Zaraketh held up a hand. It's one of us, she whispered, but be very still. Don't make any sudden movements. A figure emerged from the shadows. It had once been a Viridian, but now it looked like a nightmare. Its skin was black as night, covered in natural camouflage patterns. Its forearms had grown into long, powerful limbs ending in razor-sharp claws. Its face was barely recognizable. As having once been intelligent and peaceful, the creature looked at them with eyes that held no trace of civilization. It sniffed the air, testing their scent. When it focused on Lisa, she saw nothing but hunger in its gaze. Zaraketh spoke to it in a language Lisa had never heard before. It was full of clicks and growls, more like animal communication than the musical Viridian language she had heard earlier. The creature responded in the same strange tongue, never taking its eyes off Lisa. What did it say? Lisa whispered. It wanted to know if you were food, Zaraketh replied quietly. I told it you were under my protection. It will respect that, but only while I'm here. The transformed Viridian gave Lisa one last hungry look and then vanished back into the shadows. Lisa realized she was shaking. How many of your people have changed like that? She asked. I don't know, maybe half. The others are still hiding in the tunnels, too frightened to let the change take hold, but they won't be able to resist much longer. The fear and anger are too strong. Zaraketh's radio crackled to life. It was Jake's voice, but he sounded strained and frightened. "Lisa, are you there? We need to talk." "Something very strange is happening." Lisa grabbed the radio. "I'm here, Jake. What's your situation?" "The Scareth are in full retreat. Their ground forces are being hunted through the city by something that moves too fast to track. We're picking up their communications, and they're terrified. They're calling for immediate evacuation." Lisa looked at Zaraketh, who was listening with interest. "The hunt has begun," her friend said with satisfaction. "My people are remembering how to be what we truly are." "Jake, listen to me carefully," Lisa said into the radio. "The Viridians are changing. They're becoming predators. Some of them might not recognize us as allies anymore." "What do you mean changing?" "It's some kind of evolutionary response to extreme danger. They're turning into hunters. Very dangerous hunters." There was a long pause. "Are you safe?" Lisa looked at Zaraketh, who was watching her with those predatory eyes. "For now, but Jake, we need to be very careful. These aren't the same people we met this morning." "Understood. Stay where you are. We'll come get you when it's safe." After Jake signed off, Lisa and Zaraketh sat in silence for a while. The sounds of battle above had almost stopped. Occasionally they heard a scream or an energy weapon firing, but it was clear the fight was nearly over. "Your people are very good at this," Lisa said. "We had millions of years to perfect our hunting skills before we chose peace," Zaraketh replied. "The Scareth are skilled warriors, but they fight like soldiers. We hunt like predators. There's a difference. What happens now? When the Scareth are gone, will your people change back?" Zaraketh was quiet for a long time. "I don't know. The change is supposed to be temporary, triggered by immediate danger. But it's been 1,000 years since anyone experienced it. We might have forgotten how to control it." Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that your people might have accidentally created a new threat to the galaxy. The Viridians you met today were peaceful farmers and scholars. But the Viridians who will emerge from this battle might be something very different." As if to emphasize her point, they heard a new sound from above. It was a howl, long and haunting, like a wolf calling to its pack. But it was coming from a Viridian throat, and it was answered by dozens of similar calls from across the city. "What was that?" Lisa asked. "The hunt call," Zaraketh said. "It means the prey has been cornered. The Scareth who are still alive won't be alive much longer." Lisa realized that she was witnessing something unprecedented in galactic history. A species that had voluntarily given up its predatory nature was reclaiming it, and the results were terrifying. The gentle people who had welcomed humanity to their world were becoming something that might make the Scareth look like harmless insects. "Zaraketh," Lisa said quietly, "will you still be my friend when this is over?" Her alien companion looked at her with those changed eyes. "I will try, Lisa, but I cannot promise you what the beast will decide. All I can promise is that I will remember that you saved my life, and I will try to make that memory stronger than the hunger." In the darkness of the tunnel, surrounded by the sounds of a hunt that was reshaping an entire species, Lisa began to understand that humanity's first contact with alien life was about to become something far more complicated than anyone had ever imagined. The tunnel system beneath the Viridian city had become a maze of shadows and whispered conversations. Lisa followed Zaraketh through passages that seemed to wind endlessly through the rock. Her alien friend moved with perfect silence, seeming to know exactly where she was going, even in the complete darkness. "How can you see?" Lisa whispered as they navigated another turn. "We can sense heat and movement," Zaraketh replied quietly. "The change has awakened senses we forgot we had. I can smell the Scareth soldiers 3 levels above us. I can hear their heartbeats. I can feel their fear." Lisa shivered. A creature beside her was becoming less familiar with each passing hour. Zaraketh's skin had darkened to an almost black color, and the red veins beneath glowed faintly in the darkness. Her movements were those of a hunter, not a diplomat. They reached a wider chamber where other Viridians had gathered. Lisa counted at least 20 of them, and all showed signs of the change. Some looked almost normal except for the darker skin and longer arms. Others had transformed so completely that Lisa could barely recognize them as the same species she had met that morning. One of the more changed Viridians approached them. It spoke to Zaraketh in that strange, clicking language. Lisa noticed that this one kept looking at her with obvious hunger. What did it say? Lisa asked after the creature moved away. It wanted to know why we're protecting a potential enemy, Zaraketh said. The others don't understand why we should trust any aliens. To them, you smell like prey. But you explained that humans are allies, right? Zaraketh was quiet for a moment. I tried. But the changed ones don't think the way we used to. They see the world in terms of pack and prey, hunter and hunted. The idea of friendship with another species doesn't make sense to them. A new Viridian entered the chamber, and Lisa immediately knew this one was different. It moved with absolute confidence, and the other transformed aliens stepped aside to let it pass. When it spoke, all the others listened. That's Keth Varen, Zaraketh explained. He was our chief scientist before the change. Now he's becoming something like a pack leader. Keth Varen approached them, studying Lisa with eyes that glowed with an inner fire. When he spoke, his voice was deeper and more threatening than any Viridian voice Lisa had heard. The human should not be here, he said in accented English. This is not her hunt. She saved my life, Zaraketh replied. She has earned protection. The old rules are dead, Keth Varen growled. We follow new rules now, the rules of the hunt. The rules of survival. Lisa felt the tension in the room rise. The other transformed Viridians were watching the exchange with interest, and she could sense that many of them agreed with their leader. What are the new rules? Zaraketh asked carefully. We reclaim what was taken from us. For 1,000 years we pretended to be weak. We hid our true nature and let ourselves become soft. But the hunt has reminded us of what we are. We are the apex predators of this world, and it's time the galaxy remembered that. Keth Varen turned to look directly at Lisa. Your people brought danger to our world. The Scareth followed your signals here. Our children died because of your carelessness. That's not fair, Lisa protested. We didn't know the Scareth would follow us. We came in peace. Peace, Keth Varen spat. A word. For the weak. The Scareth understand only strength. They came here expecting easy prey. Instead, they found predators. By morning, none of them will be alive. Lisa felt a chill run through her. You're going to kill all of them? They came to enslave us. They brought weapons to kill our children. What did you think would happen? Zaraketh stepped between them. The human is under my protection. She will not be harmed. Your protection may not be enough, Keth Varen said. The change is still taking hold. Every hour more of our people. Remember what we truly are. Soon there will be no room for gentle thoughts or old friendships. He turned and walked away, but not before giving Lisa one last predatory stare. The other Viridians followed him, leaving Lisa and Zaraketh alone in the chamber. He's right, isn't he? Lisa said, You're all changing into something that won't care about our alliance. Zaraketh nodded slowly. The transformation is stronger than I expected. It's not just our bodies that are changing. Our minds, our instincts, our entire way of thinking is being rewritten. I'm fighting to stay myself, but it gets harder every hour. Lisa's radio crackled to life. It was Jake again, and he sounded urgent. Lisa, we need to get you out of there. The situation on the surface is getting worse. What do you mean worse? I thought the Scareth were retreating. They are, but your Viridian friends are hunting them down systematically. It's not a battle anymore, it's a massacre. And some of the transformed Viridians are starting to approach our defensive positions. Lisa felt her stomach drop. Are they threatening you? Not yet, but they're watching us, studying us. And their body language suggests they're deciding whether we're threats or not. Zaraketh took the radio. Commander Morrison, this is Zaraketh. You need to keep your people calm and avoid sudden movements. The changed ones will interpret aggressive behavior as a challenge. Zaraketh, you sound different? I am different. We all are. The transformation has awakened instincts that we buried long ago. Some of my people no longer see the distinction between Scarith enemies and human visitors. There was a long pause. Are we in danger? Zaraketh looked at Lisa before answering. I hope not, but I cannot speak for all of my people. The pack leaders are making decisions based on hunting instincts, not diplomatic protocols. We need to extract Lisa and get out of here. That might not be wise. Moving now could trigger a chase response. Predators are programmed to pursue fleeing prey. Lisa took back the radio. Jake, I'm safer down here for now. But you need to be very careful. Don't do anything that could be seen as threatening. After the conversation ended, Zaraketh led Lisa deeper into the tunnel system. They could hear sounds echoing through the passages now, the sounds of the hunt continuing above. There were occasional screams, the crash of falling debris, and that haunting howl that seemed to be the Viridian hunting call. How long will this go on? Lisa asked. Until every Scarith on the planet is dead, Zaraketh replied matter-of-factly. They made a mistake coming here. They thought they were attacking farmers and scholars. Instead, they awakened something that hasn't been seen in the galaxy for 1,000 years. They reached another chamber, smaller and more isolated than the last. Zaraketh sealed the entrance behind them with a piece of rock that fit perfectly into place. We'll be safe here. For a while, she said. The others won't find us easily. Are you hiding me from your own people? Zaraketh sat down across from Lisa, her predatory eyes reflecting the dim light. Yes, because I'm not sure how much longer I can resist the change. And when I finally let go of who I used to be, I don't know if I'll still see you as a friend. Lisa stared at her transformed companion. Is there any way to reverse this? To go back to the way you were? I don't know. The old stories speak of the change as temporary, triggered by immediate danger. But those stories are 1,000 years old. No one alive remembers how to control it. What if the danger is over? What if all the Scarith are defeated? Then we'll find out if we can remember how to be peaceful, or if we've awakened something that can never sleep again. In the distance, they heard another hunting howl, followed by an answering call, then another. The sounds echoed through the tunnels like a deadly song. They're coordinating, Zaraketh said with a mixture of pride and fear. Pack hunting behavior. We haven't done that in a millennium, but the instincts are still there. Lisa realized that she was witnessing something that would change the balance of power in the galaxy. The peaceful Viridians were becoming apex predators again, and no one knew if they could be stopped. The question was whether humanity would be seen as allies in this new order, or simply as the next species to be hunted outside their hidden chamber. The hunt continued, and with each passing hour, the gentle farmers and scholars of the Viridian world disappeared a little more, replaced by something ancient and terrible and hungry. Dawn came slowly to the Viridian world, casting pale light through the cracks in the tunnel ceiling. Lisa had not slept at all during the long night. She had spent the hours watching Zaraketh, who sat perfectly still in a meditation pose, fighting an internal battle that Lisa could only imagine. The sounds of hunting had stopped sometime before sunrise. The city above was silent now except for the occasional crash of falling debris. The hunt was over, but Lisa wasn't sure if that was good. News or bad news? Zaraketh's eyes opened, and Lisa saw immediately that something had changed again during the night. Her friend's skin was lighter now, less of the predatory black and more of the original translucent color. The red veins were still visible, but they pulsed more slowly. I can feel them leaving, Zaraketh said softly. The Scarith. The few who survived are fleeing the planet. How many escaped? Not many, maybe one ship out of 37. The rest are dead or captured. Zaraketh stood up, and Lisa noticed that her movements were more controlled now, less purely predatory. The immediate danger is over. Now we find out if we can remember how to be civilized, Lisa's radio crackled. Lisa, this is Jake, are you okay? We haven't heard from you in 12 hours. I'm fine, Lisa replied. What's the situation up there? Strange. Very strange. About an hour ago, the transformed Viridians just stopped hunting. They're gathering in the city center, but they're not doing anything aggressive. Some of them look like they're changing back. Zaraketh took the radio. Commander Morrison, the crisis has triggered a species-wide awakening. My people are trying to decide what they want to be now that they remember what they once were. Is it safe for us to come to the surface? I think so. But move slowly and keep your weapons holstered. Some of my people are still deciding whether humans are friends or potential threats. They made their way up through the tunnel system toward the surface. As they climbed, Lisa could hear voices echoing from above. Viridian voices, but they sounded different now. There was a new quality to them, deeper and more complex than the musical tones she remembered from first contact. When they finally emerged into the daylight, Lisa gasped at what she saw. The beautiful city of the Viridians had been transformed into something from a nightmare. Buildings were damaged and scarred by energy weapons. The carefully tended gardens were trampled and burned, and scattered throughout the streets were the remains of Scarith, soldiers and equipment, but the most striking sight was the Viridians themselves. Hundreds of them had gathered in the central plaza, and they represented every stage of the transformation. Some looked almost like their original selves, with only minor changes to their skin color and arm length. Others were still fully transformed into the predatory hunters they had become during the night. And many were somewhere in between. Caught in a struggle between their two natures, Jake and a small group of human soldiers were standing at the edge of the plaza, watching nervously as the Viridians debated among themselves. "When you saw Lisa?" Relief crossed his face. "Thank God you're safe," he said. "What's happening here? Are they deciding whether to attack us?" "No," Zaraketh said. "They're deciding what kind of species they want to be." At the center of the gathering, Kethvarin stood addressing the crowd. He was still mostly in his transformed state, but Lisa could see that he too was struggling with the change. His voice carried across the plaza as he spoke in the musical Viridian language. "What's he saying?" Lisa asked. Zaraketh listened for a moment. "He's arguing that we should remain as we are now. That the transformation has made us strong again and we should embrace our true nature as hunters. He says the galaxy will respect us now that they know we're not helpless prey." Another Viridian stepped forward, one who had changed back almost completely to her original form. She spoke with passionate conviction, gesturing toward the damaged city around them. "And her?" Lisa asked. "She argues for returning to our peaceful ways. She says the transformation served its purpose by saving us from the Scarith, but now we should choose who we want to be rather than letting our instincts decide for us." The debate continued for over an hour. Lisa watched as individual Viridians made their choices. Some of the fully transformed ones began to change back, their skin lightening and their claws retracting. Others seemed to embrace their predatory nature, their skin darkening and their movements becoming more fluid and dangerous. But most interesting were those like Zaraketh, who seemed to be finding a middle ground. They retained some of the physical changes from the transformation, but they also showed signs of their original peaceful nature. "What about you?" Lisa asked her friend. "What are you choosing?" Zaraketh looked at her with eyes that held both intelligence and predatory awareness. "I'm choosing both. The gentle diplomat who welcomed you to our world, and the hunter who can protect my people when necessary. I don't think we have to be one or the other. Is that possible?" "I'm learning to control the change, to let the hunter emerge when needed, but keep the diplomat in charge otherwise. It's difficult, but I think it's the best path forward." Jake approached them cautiously. "The horizon is ready to leave whenever you are, Lisa, but I have to ask, what happens now? Are the Viridians still interested in an alliance with humanity?" Before Lisa could answer, Kethvarin broke away from the main group and walked toward them. Lisa tensed, but she noticed that his skin was lighter than it had been the night before. He was choosing to change back, at least partially. "Commander Morrison," he said in accented English, "I owe you an apology. The transformation brought out instincts that made me see your people as potential enemies. But I'm remembering now that you fought beside us against the Scarith. You protected our children even when you had no obligation to do so. Jake nodded. Carefully, we're glad we could help. But I have to ask, what happens next? Some of my superiors are going to be concerned about what they've seen here. As they should be, Kethvaran said honestly. We have rediscovered abilities that we had forgotten. Some of my people want to use those abilities to reclaim our place as a dominant species in the galaxy. Others want to return to our peaceful ways completely. And you? Kethvaran looked around at his transformed people. I think we need to find a balance. We were wrong to completely suppress our nature, just as it would be wrong to completely embrace it. Perhaps we can be both peaceful scholars and capable defenders. Lisa felt hope growing in her chest. You mean you could be guardians? Protectors. Of peaceful worlds against species like the Scarith? It's possible, Zaraketh said. We could form a new kind of alliance. Humans bring their adaptability and technology. Viridians bring their knowledge and their rediscovered strength. Together we could make this part of the galaxy safer for all peaceful species. Jake looked thoughtful. That would certainly change the balance of power. The Scarith and other raiders would think twice about attacking worlds under our joint protection. Over the next few hours, they worked out the basic framework of a new relationship. The Viridians would remain primarily peaceful, but they would maintain the ability to transform when facing existential threats. Humanity would provide technology and support, while the Viridians would share their knowledge and serve as defenders of peaceful worlds. Most importantly, individuals like Zaraketh would serve as bridges between the two natures, able to be diplomats when peace was needed and warriors when war was necessary. As the UES Horizon prepared to depart with the first Viridian diplomatic mission, Lisa stood with Zaraketh at the edge of the damaged plaza. Her friend's skin was now a gentle blue-green, but Lisa could see the faint tracery of the red veins that could flare to life if needed. Thank you, Zaraketh said, for helping me remember that we don't have to choose between what we were and what we became. We can be both. Will I see you again? Lisa asked. Zaraketh smiled, and her expression was both gentle and confident. You will. I'm coming with you to Earth. Someone needs to teach your diplomats how to recognize when a species is more than it appears to be. As their ship lifted off from the Viridian world, Lisa looked down at the recovering city below. The gentle farmers and scholars were rebuilding their world, but now they did so with the knowledge that they could defend it if necessary. They had learned that true strength came not from choosing between peace and power, but from having the wisdom to know when each was needed. In the cargo bay of the Horizon, the first samples of Viridian biotechnology waited to be studied, but more important than any technology was the lesson they had learned about the complexity of civilized behavior. Sometimes the most peaceful species were those who had the strength to choose peace over violence, rather than those who had no choice. At all, the galaxy would be a very different place now that the Viridians had awakened, and humanity had learned that first contact was just the beginning of understanding another species. The real work of building relationships happened when civilizations faced their first crisis together and discovered what they were truly capable of becoming.